Got it.
All right. So what are you ready first? Do you want to do?
I'm ready.
So what I wanted to ask you is about Level Up, how it is like from a coach perspective, because you're coaching people, right?
Right.
How many customers did you have so far? Or how do you circular, or what? How do we say it?
Like as a coach,
Yeah,
I think 5, maybe 6.
cool.
And I like all of them. Like my favorites are just it's like you get, you know how there's like 8, 8, 8. You get 8 coachings, 8 just circles, and then 8 one-to-one-to-ones. And I feel like I love being somebody's coach, but I really like the circles too. It feels like you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of I'm gay, so you guys don't know my apps, but like Tinder or whatever. It feels like this like speed date. And when I'm coaching, I have certain kind of like things I'm thinking about. When I'm circling, it's just a little different. And I like kind of like, let's dance. You know? No, there's no goal or stream to follow, and just getting to be with somebody and let it go wherever. I seem to trust myself more. And then the one-to-one-to-ones, I really like those because I get to really geek out, and they're really vulnerable. It's vulnerable to have somebody watch you circle, because you can't watch them watching you. So, but just the coaching, from a coach perspective, I get really, I think I get a little, what is it, possessive. I'm like, kind of like, all right, I really want to, I don't want to give more than the coachee wants, but it's like I've like vowed to never not give them enough. So I get real specific. I'm like, do you want to, how deep do you want to go? Why are you taking the course? Is it like to grow and be with your relationships? Is it to, be a good circler? Is it to be a good circler 5 years from now? I want to know all those things so that I can really tailor what we're doing. Yeah.
And yeah, and do you have ideas of what, like, can you share with us, like, what they actually want? Like, what did you notice?
Right. So like, if it's more about like their lives, then we kind of want to really stay in like just the moment and really mix it up just between us, so you can see like, they can see, I call it biofeedback. So like they can see what it's like to be with them, kind of understand maybe how the world's seeing them more, and what signals say what things. And with the course itself, just like I want to pass or something like this, like I want to get very technical.
Okay.
And then the real thing I always want to coach for, though, is that I've learned not everybody wants. Like I was project who I am onto them. It's like, I want to be a good circler 20 years from now. I want to be a good circler a long time from now. so I take this like really long path. And so if they want that, then they're really a good fit for me.
Can we just come back to what
Yeah.
you said about being seen, about how did you say it, being seen in their life, like like I felt it a bit, and I wanted to feel it
Yeah.
more, like how they are seen by their environment, and get this feedback, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like one time I was circling with somebody, great circler, and he scowled. And I wanted to say he scowled at me. But when I said, you look like you hate me right now. And what he said was, I think I hate me. And the next thing he connected was that face that I'm looking at myself with. I didn't realize it was coming out too. So like there's this way, it's like, kind of, if you believe in, like they say, like internal locus of control, meaning like I can make choices about, I'm creating what's happening right now. Like sometimes a tree might fall on me, but in general, I'm creating what's happening right now. And so sometimes ways that we've picked up where we get like a little neurotic or anxious are because we're doing something internally that's coming out and people are reacting to it. And it's once you get enough trust to kind of like mix up those interactions, be like, right now, I think you don't like me, or right now, I think, just share my projections. Yeah, it's really helpful when
Yeah.
the person can get so many insights about like, oh, that's why people are scared of me, because when I hate myself, they think I hate them.
Yeah, that's amazing. Love it. And for like the people who wants to be like really good at circling and be like 20 years from now, like, do you know if like what their motivation, like what they see in the
That's
practice?
what they see in the practice. That's really good. That's a good thing to know. I don't know. Hmm. I'm asking myself. Yeah, it's like something I was gonna when you were asking me, I didn't know what question you were gonna ask me, so I thought you were gonna ask me, what do you do if you want to be a good servant? It's something like, so I'm always like, because I'm a human, and the way it's effective is to you're a Lucy. You're a Lucy, and Lucy's do this, and that's a way for me to control the information. And it's effective at some levels, right? Like if we were friends and we had dinner together and you always bring the wine and I always bring the cheese, then I don't buy the wine when I go to this grocery store because you always buy the wine. So we've got an efficiency. But then if I don't look at you and I say like really connect, then on some level I it's this weird, I'm like super metaphorical right now, but it's like our souls won't kiss. And it's perpetual. This, you're a Lucy, and then be like, I don't know what a Lucy is. You're a Lucy. I don't know what a Lucy is. Like keep opening up that I don't know what a Lucy is. That's why I want to be a good circler 20 years from now. I want to be so used to wiping away the picture I have of you so that I can really look, you know, I want to see how far that goes.
Beautiful. Yeah, that, my question was more like for the circling, what their motivation, but it's good to have yours as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Well, I looked at finding other people's is like that's where it's like a trap, kind of like I think sometimes people are like, I want to help people.
yeah,
You know, there's like the wounded healer. Like every circler or person who's in like psychotherapy probably has some kind of like they're trying to provide what they didn't get, you know, or what they didn't see in the world. So it's like I want to give to everybody what I wish I'd gotten. I think that's the general. But somebody who wants to be a good circler years from now is different than somebody who just wants to learn circling.
right.
Yeah.
And do you, do, do you believe like with this level up program that someone can learn circling or even like be a good circler? What do you believe? What's your guess?
It's very variable. So the biggest thing that seems the biggest variance comes from this sounds weird, but it comes from I think the flow circles and the buddy circles. So like, you know, they're doing their 24 sessions with different people and they're getting a ton of feedback. So when they go into the buddy circles, are they trying everything? Like if you go to the circle and you sit down and you're like, say we're both in the program and you're my buddy, and I'm going to circle you. If I play it safe, like this is like, you know, I'm a coach, so I get paid. So like, there's a thing where it's like, okay, if I circle for real, there's like a better chance we're either going to know that we're a match or a mismatch. And if we're a mismatch, you're going to fire me, right? So like, there's more at stake. If we're just buddy circling, there's not that much at stake. So I should definitely be real. I should definitely be as like really interested. Like instead of asking the right question, figure out what am I really interested in about their world that's in the moment and ask about that.
Right. So you believe that like the more real someone will be and like playing the less safe, the more he will be like a good circler or learn
Yes.
more about circling.
Because it's basically like, you know, there's like an ocean of information. And we're like, you know, this thing, this whale shark, it like eats while it swims. And
Oh
it
yeah.
dies if it stops swimming. So you can't get all the information, but how fast and how constant can you get it without damaging yourself?
Right.
And I feel like you would resonate with this. I feel like learning is in the body. So like we learn, we like receive, and then our head like chews it up like a cow. And then we say we learned, but really it's all about getting into the body. So if you don't risk impact, then you're almost like a whale shark with like a little baby mouth. And you're not like opening your mouth as wide as you can to
Right.
get more information. So
Right.
yeah, so like that, and then flow circles, it's the same thing. It's like people come into the flow circles and they're waiting. And I'm like, no, 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 your context is you're training right now. Not to like, you know, be good enough or anything like that, but just to like be you. Yeah. It's weird. In Tai Chi, there's this posture where you like stand, and that's the beginning of Tai Chi. And then the secret nobody knows is actually Tai Chi is a partner exercise. So you do it with somebody. And it's easier to feel yourself when you're touching somebody else. For some reason, pressing on them makes you feel your whole body more. And that's the thing we do in the flow circles is you got to like get in there and touch, not just to touch other people, but to touch yourself. Yeah. I tell all my coachees, like, get in those flow circles. That thing we just worked on, I want you to bring that into a flow circle, you know, because it's like, it's not about learning anything, but it's about learning. So like surrendering to the fact that you'll always be learning.
And as you follow them, do you see transformation, or do you see like how is it to like see them through the program?
It's what's interesting is, yes, I see transformation, but there's this, like, if you look at somebody right here and say, oh, they need this to get to here, I've never seen anybody go straight there. It's always like, and if you like mess with that, they need that path to get to here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll sometimes say like, okay, we got to do this to to transform or change, and then it just seems to always go better when we follow what they're kind of like, what's alive for them. It's like we have to tackle those things that are alive for them. And it's so hard to coach people on how to be a circler because everybody's circle's different.
Mm.
You know, there's like good behaviors, but circling is a large frontier. And so if I coach them too much, I might be blocking what circling could become.
Mm.
You know?
Right.
So I try and get them like basic stuff and then figure out what's their thing, what's their focus, what's their turn on, what's their attraction.
Mm.
Yeah, there's I'm babbling, but there's all this leadership data. And back in the day, they used to say you had to fix all of your weaknesses, right? That was the old leadership stuff. And now it's like, work on your worst too, and then just follow your strengths. And your idiosyncrasies, like the things unique about you, are what's going to make you a special leader.
Mm. So like your like your job is quite like, it sounds like you're encouraging someone to like be more of themselves, but like maybe more aware of it, or
Yeah, well, it's tricky since I don't know who they are. It's almost like I'm trying to flick them like a, this avalanche where the rocks come down the hill. I'm trying to just flick a couple stones to see how the rocks want to slide.
Mm.
But if they don't move with it, then it'll go slower. Not like a should, but like a could.
Mm-hmm. You said you thought I would have asked you more question what you do. Um, is that like, is there a question you thought like I would have asked you?
Oh no, I was just talking about that one question, but what do I do? I always give homework,
Mm-hmm.
always. Because it's like, I think some people think that to learn is like 3 + 3 is 6. It's like, and then we're done. But it's more, it's like, until you see that the thing we find that like needs to wiggle or warm up, until we see that it's everywhere in your life, it won't come through in your circling.
Mm,
you know
right. Yeah.
it's weird because you have to lean into those edges. It's like if I said, if you had to do something hard, that's one thing. But if I said, you have to do this hard thing forever, that's scary.
So, so yeah, like this program is not only a program like online, but like that you do outside, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
We do
practice
that.
outside and you have to practice.
You have to practice. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't need everybody to, tell their mother she doesn't understand boundaries, but you could, you know, it's tricky. It's like there's no prerequisites, but it's all connected. I think we're really good here at not, we're not a cult, we don't tell you have to do this or this or this. But there's a way where if there's any tension in our lives, we can wiggle it. Even if it's just, this happens with parents a lot, where they're like, I love them, I want to kill them, their children. And even just letting people in, I think changes so much, even though we're not going to parent any differently. Just letting people into that tension, inadequacy, frustration, joy, it changes things, even if nothing changes. Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like with like this practice, like I haven't changed, like in a way, like I feel like I'm more me.
Mm.
But but like it's like different, but like the same.
Right.
Like a more comfortable same, I would say.
Yeah. You said I'm more comfortable saying.
No, I'm more comfortable in being me, with um, my weakness and my strength, I guess. So it's like I feel like I haven't really changed. Like the more like I practice, the less I changed.
Oh.
Or the less I wanted to change.
Right. One thing I I project onto you that I think is true about me too is something about language. Like you're still Lucy to me, but in the places that would be tough for anybody to speak from, to me, you seem to be able to communicate from there more.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like it became like so normal that I take it for granted, I guess.
Yeah, there's something I'm just saying. It's like we don't create language without a listener, and so circling's kind of freaky in that like there's so many more listeners now, and we don't have the words to convey. And I think it's hard for people to learn. Oh, you're gonna have to learn how to say who you are in new ways. Yeah. I'm thinking about that circle we just had the other day where you were shy. Remember that was like a month ago? It was so interesting how we didn't fix it. But we stayed. And I was like, I've never looked at shyness this way
Mm-hmm.
as like beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess like staying in those um, states and like instead of like trying to fix it or make it wrong or yeah, it it helps to like I feel less shy from that time actually. Like not less shy, but like more okay with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's part of it. It's part of my experience.
Yeah, well, it's weird because now being with you, I definitely look to you as like a shyness leader.
Oh.
And it changes. It's kind of like when it's something where you're like weak or something, then it's like we can't even begin to look at it. But if it's like a way of being that's just more subtle.
Um, we arrived to the end. Do you want to share one last thing about level up?
Yeah, I love the weekends.
Oh, there is live weekends now?
Yeah, the level up local. Yeah, it's so fun. And it's like it's it's flow circling, mostly flow circling with some focus circling practice. And I like it because it's like a whole day, and it's not about like rip your heart out and be like it's not like this like, but it's so much time, so you get to really soak in that openness, and it's great. And we're going to be doing another one in January at in Austin, and then we're going to start doing them in Vermont, and I think we're working on some European locations too.
Ooh, exciting.
I know.
Nice. Great. So I think I can end it here.